Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we will be talking about the movie Elf. Now Elf starts off with somebody called Papa Elf, and Papa Elf tells us that before toy making, Elf had a lot of different jobs. Elf used to make shit. Elves was used to make shoes because the shoemaker used to always fall asleep. And elves were also used for baking. But let's just say never have them bake in a tree because they will set the tree on fire. So we get to toy making. Now, believe it or not, the elves weren't the first one who made toys. They did try dwarves, but they liked to party too much. So they did try, and they did try trolls, but they weren't potty trained. So they moved on to elves. So elves make all the toys at Christmas time. And no human has stepped inside of the North Pole. That is until Buddy. Now, Buddy was sound asleep in the orphanage as a little baby until Santa came. Then Buddy saw a teddy bear. Then he got into Santa's back, and Santa found him in his bag. And that's when Santa found out he must have gotten into one of my bags. He must have gotten to my bag when I was at the orphanage. And then this is when Papa Elf tells us that he offered to raise Buddy as one of his own. Now, Buddy grew up really faster than all the other elves because he was a human. But the elves and all his friends didn't treat him any differently. So Buddy is making his toys until the manager Ming Ming comes and asks Buddy, how many etch sketches did you finish? And then Buddy says 85. And then it puts Buddy way back in the calendar. Oh, and Ming Ming is also in charge of quota. So Buddy is late in his quota also. So he feels really bad. But Ming Ming tells him he feels really bad because he feels like he's the worst toy maker in the world because he can't finish as fast as everybody else can. And then Ming Ming tells him, well, no, Buddy, you're not Buddy uses the word, and I hope I can say this right, a quarter many muggins. And then Ming Ming tells him, "No, buddy, you're not a quote-unquote mini Muggins. You're just special." So that lifts Buddy's spirits a little. And all the elves tells him, "Without you, nobody will be able to change the batteries in the smoke detector. And nobody can hit a low note in the choir like you can." And then this is when Buddy gets assigned his new job, opening a Jack in the Box. And then while he's doing his new job, Ming Ming, the elf that was talking to Buddy before, asks his co-worker if he can help him with the etcher sketches and reaching today's quarter. And so his co-worker says, "Sure, no problem. And by the way, great idea with that great idea telling Buddy that he has special talent. That was a good thing on your part." And Buddy overheard them saying, "Well, if he hadn't figured out that he's a human by now, I don't think he ever will." So Buddy knows the truth, and he is heartbroken. So he runs to his house, and he goes into the bathroom, and then his papa knocks on the door to make sure he's okay. And then he says, "I'm fine, Papa, I just need some alone time." And so his papa actually tells him the truth, that he was adopted. And that his real father lived in New York City. So while Buddy's outside, he bumps into Leon, the snowman from Frosty the Snowman. And Leon tells him, "Buddy, you have got to go on this great adventure to find out who you are." And so Buddy is off. But before he goes off, Santa gives him some pretty good advice about not eating gum off the sidewalk. And Santa also tells him that his father's on the naughty list. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, Papa Elf has been working on Santa's sleigh for a while, and he showed it to Buddy. Now, keep this in mind because this will come back at the end of the video. So, Buddy is off, and then he bumps into Mr. Narwhal the whale. And then Mr. Narwhal says, "Bye, Buddy. Good luck finding your dad." And Buddy says, "Thank you." And then Buddy is off to New York City. So he makes it to New York City, and he finds his dad's office. But his dad thinks he's a Christmas gram, and this is Walter Hobbs. Oh, and also he's on the naughty list. Yeah, I know I told you that before. I just want to tell you again. So anyway, so he sings in the Christmas gram, and then he calls security, and then he gets him kicked out, and then he stops by a store where he meets Jody for the first time, decorating a big tree. And then, and then he, and then he tells Jody that she is a wonderful Christmas tree decorator. I love him and Jody's relationship. He tells Jody that she is a wonderful Christmas tree decorator and that it is wonderful to see someone with the same love of elf culture as he has, because he was raised as an elf and she was wearing an elf outfit. And for some reason, the boss of the store thinks Buddy works at the store because he's an elf, so it makes sense. So that's how him and Jody met, because he because the boss thought that Buddy worked there. So he put Buddy to work, and the boss says, I know you love Christmas and Christmas is your favorite, but now the rule is work is your new favorite. Work is your new favorite. Now you stay here when I make the announcements, and when he hears Santa is coming to town, when the boss says that, he gets so happy. I just love Buddy so much. Oh, and he also meets Walter's family. Walter's wife Emma and his son Michael, and Walter is a writer. So, so with a lot of stuff going on in his with a lot of things going on with his work, and the fact that they need to come up with a brand new story or they are out. The company will be shut down if they don't come up with one. And the fact that Buddy just told him that his old girlfriend, Susan Walsh, had Buddy, and that she never told him about and and, and that and that Susan never told him that that she had Buddy. It's just a lot. He's dealing with a lot right now. Oh, so um Walter actually finds Buddy sleeping in a window, and he actually takes him to the doctor, and they do a DNA test, and that is actually his son. So he stays with Walter. He stays with Walter's family and Walter. Now, the wife is like so happy, but the wife is like so happy. Oh, and this is the dinner scene. So let me tell you what happened. So the wife is like so happy, and she asks, and she asks about Buddy about how did he get here, and then sh- and then he tell and then he tells her, and then he asks for syrup to put on his spaghetti, and he puts syrup on his spaghetti, and he eats it, and his diet is soda, candy corn, and syrup. Oh, and candy. The four basic food groups. He is just so he is just so loving, and he is so happy that he found his dad. That um that after dinner, Buddy acts at night because he can't sleep unless he gets sucked in. So his dad comes in and tells him good night, and then the next morning he fixes the mother breakfast like leftover spaghetti with syrup, which now that I'm thinking about it, I want to try leftover spaghetti with syrup. And she thinks that it's really good. I just love Emma. She's just my favorite character. Her and Jody, her um her and Josie wait, her and Joby are my favorite characters in this whole movie. Emma and Josie are my favorite characters. So anyway, after she leaves for work, Walter tells Buddy that he needs to lose the tights. So he doesn't end up losing the tights, but he does end up calling Walter at work because he thinks that he hears the noise coming. He thinks that he hears the noise coming from the heater. So he calls his dad, and then his dad just tells him, that it's okay, it's alright. And then Buddy says, I love you, while he's making spaghetti with Pop Tarts and candy. It's just so cool. I just love it. I love this movie. So anyway, him and Michael start to bond because he walks Michael home, and then they stop at the mall, and then he asks Josie out on a date, and then she said yes, and then the way they bonded was like a bunch of kids were throwing snowballs at Michael and Buddy, and then they went to the snowballs. They were getting them back left and right, getting them back left and right, showing no fear with the snowballs. And Buddy had the arm. He had the arm for throwing snowballs. So that's how him and Michael bond. They spend the day together, and they even get a Christmas tree. And then when the father comes home, he says, oh, great, he cut down a Christmas tree. Well, he said this to Emma, oh, great, he cut down a Christmas tree. How about this, Emma? You stay home with him tomorrow while I go to work. And then And and then Emma says, how about you take Buddy to work with you? So the next day, Walter and Buddy go to work together, and Buddy is actually wearing a suit now. And then his dad had them sent to the mailroom where Buddy makes a party, and he even makes a friend in the mailroom, and they dance on tables, and they dance to the song Whoops, There It Is. after this, Josie, wait, Josie, wait, Jovi and him have a date, and they just look at Christmas trees and it's just be so beautiful. And they go ice skating, and Buddy gets his first kiss. And actually, this is the part that I don't like, because Buddy tries to tell his dad about Josie, about his girlfriend Joe, about his about his girlfriend Jovi, and then while they're in a meeting with Miles Finch, the famous guy who is famous of writing kids' books and is their only hope to save the company. Buddy walks in and he tells his dad that he did love, and he thinks that Miles is the elf, so he starts insulting him. And then Miles starts hitting on Buddy. And then when Miles leaves, this is when Walter says, "You get out of here. I don't care if you're nuts. I don't care if you're my son. You get out of my life now." So Buddy goes home, writes a letter to Michael on the Etch-a-Sketch, and he is gone. And then we see him staring down at a river as he's walking by, and then suddenly Santa's sleigh goes kapooey, because no one in New York City believes in Santa anymore. And then Michael goes to tell his dad that Buddy ran away. So he actually quits his job to go find Buddy, and Buddy actually fixes the sleigh, and it turns out that the sleigh runs on people who believe in the Christmas spirit. And then Jody comes to the rescue because she sings Santa Claus is coming to town, and everybody joins in. And then Michael makes his dad join in, and then the sleigh flies and Christmas is saved by Buddy the Elf and Santa. And then at the end, Papa Elf tells us that Walter opened his own writing company, and he wrote a book called Elf, read by Buddy the Elf to kids. Isn't it perfect? And Jody and Buddy get married, and they have a little girl named Susie. And they still go visit Papa Elf in the North Pole. And that is the end of Elf. Bye. See you guys in my next